Hello fellow nerds of the internet, thank you so much for coming and joining us here at MTG Lexicon for another deck tech. Today, we're going to be diving into my Feldon of the Third Path deck. Not of the first or the second, but the third. Unlike some of our other hosts here, who are running mono red, I actually do have the snow-covered mountains in mind. I have 28 in this deck. We're going to take a look at the non-basic lands in Feldon. To get the full value from our snow-covered mountains, we're running scrying sheets. We have a small ramp package with Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, and Myriad Landscape. We have Gaia Reach Sanitarium that's going to allow us to get the fatties from our hand into the graveyard because Feldon loves the fatties in the graveyard. Mad Blind Mountain, a non-basic fetchable mountain from Shadowmoor block. With one red, and if we have two red permanents, we get to shuffle our library. Sometimes this is key when you need it for a mono red deck. Darksteel Citadel and Great Furnace are two artifact lands from the Mirrodin block. They combo perfectly with Goblin Welder, Trash for Treasure, and Trading Post. We have Handwear Battlements just to give Feldon haste, and because Feldon is such a key part of the deck, we have Command Beacon. In case he costs way too much in the command zone, we got Command Beacon to bring him back out. On to the enchantments. In my Feldon deck, I only run 3. I have Leyline of Punishment, which is more of a meta choice to turn off the life gain from Oloro, Tristani, and Teysa. I also have Goblin Bombardment and Warstorm Surge. These two cards combo great with the tokens Feldon creates. Instants and sorcery spells in my Feldon deck are at a minimum. We're running Scour from Existence, the best colorless removal spell for mono red. It's going to get rid of any pesky permanent. We have Faithless Looting. Draw 2, discard 2. Get the fatties in the yard. That's all Feldon wants. Along with that, we have Catharic Reunion. Again, discard more fatties, get them in the yard. But with Catharic Reunion, we get to draw 3. We have one of the best mono red tutors in the game. Gamble. That's what we're stuck with. Trash for Treasure is going to get the value from the artifacts that are already in the graveyard, get them back on the battlefield. Planeswalkers. We have 4 of them. Karn Liberated. Just like Scour from Existence, it is a colorless, pesky permanent remover. We have 2 Chandras in this deck, Chandra Ablaze and Chandra Flamecaller. They both are 6 CMC, and they both serve just about the same purpose. Discard your hand, draw more cards. Wheel, baby, wheel. The last card we're running is Daretti Scrap Servant. Daretti, as with Chandra, is going to discard more cards from your hand, but you get to draw more cards. Sometimes, if you're real lucky, you're going to get that emblem and value engine is going. Because Feldon is so artifact heavy, we're going to break this down into 3 different categories. Ramp, Utility, Value. With our ramp package, we're running Extraplanar Lens to get the full value from the snow-covered mountains we've been talking about this whole time. Unstable Obelisk, just like Karn and Scour from Existence, is a colorless removal spell. Hedron Archive and Commander Sphere are both ramp spells, but in the late game, there are draw spells. Kirkland Ironwork is going to take the value from Feldon's tokens that he creates and sack them to get that colorless mana. Next, we're going to jump into the staple ramp spells of any commander deck. Soul Ring and Mana Ball. The utility spells for Feldon. Tamio's Journal. Every upkeep, we're going to get another artifact that's going to combo with Goblin Welder, Trash for Treasure, or Trading Post. But if we get 3 of them, we get to sack them all and Demonic Tutor. Mycosynth Lattice, a key piece of a combo here that's going to take everybody's permanents away. Relic of Progenitus. This is my one and only answer for graveyard hate. Sundial of the Infinite. This is a tricky card. Because Feldon's ability will tell you that you need to sacrifice the creature at the end of turn, if you put that on the stack and then you Sundial the Infinite, you get to keep your token. Swiftfoot Boots and Whispersilk Cloak are here just to protect Feldon. Value artifacts. Kicking it off with Panharmonicon, because we love getting the double ETBs from all the tokens Feldon's creating. Cards like Duplicate, Molten Primordial, and Inferno Titan. Double the value, double the fun. Spine of Ishra, just like Scour from Existence, just like Karn, is another colorless, pesky permanent removal. Mycosynth Wellspring and Ichor Wellspring are both artifacts that benefit from entering the battlefield and going to your graveyard. Perfect targets for Goblin Welder. Skull Clamp, equip that to that token that's going to go to the graveyard anyways, draw them cards. Trading Post, because Trading Post is just full of value when you have all these artifacts lying around. Grinding Station is a sub-theme for this deck of self-mill. You sack the artifacts that you create from Feldon's ability to mill yourself. And one of my favorite turn 2 plays in Feldon, Mesmeric Orb, because Mesmeric Orb screws everybody's plan up. Now we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes of the deck, the creatures. All of these are fantastic targets for Feldon's reanimation ability. Cards like Conquering Manticore, Zealous Conscripts, and Molten Primordial are all going to steal problematic permanents and creatures from your opponents temporarily, giving you the upper hand. Mindclaw Shaman and Dualcaster Mage are going to give you access to cards your opponents have that you would not otherwise have access to. You have cards like Duplicate, which is a creature removal on a creature. You get Duplicate going with Feldon, people are not going to like you. Avalanche Riders is your answer to problematic lands, like Gaia's Cradle, Cradle of Icklemok, Sarah's Sanctum, Cabal Coffers. He's going to answer them all. Yes, you can be a degenerate and start blowing up people's basic lands, but that's not the life we're about here at MTG Lexicon. We have Hoarding Dragon, who is a tutor for artifacts. He's going to enter the battlefield, you're going to tutor an artifact, he's going to leave the battlefield, and you're going to get that artifact to your hand. Lastly, we have cards that are going to make tokens. We have Siege Gang Commander and PNK and Nalar. The tokens that they create are going to give you protection from flyers and give you protection on the ground. More Value Town creatures. We have Flametongue Kavu, Inferno Titan, and Borogon Hellkite, all serving to do the same purpose, which is creature removal and punching people in the face. Combustible Gearhulk is going to enter the battlefield and you're either going to mill 3 cards or you're going to draw 3 cards. And either or, that's what you want to be doing with Feldon. Solemn Simulacrum is a card you should run in nearly every single EDH deck. It's value, you get ramp, and you get card draw. In this deck specifically, reanimating him and doing it over and over again, perfect. Sandstone Oracle is one of the cards that's probably not played as much as it should be. In a mono red deck, you don't have a lot of card draw. Sandstone Oracle is kind of your answer to that. But being able to reoccur it with Feldon over and over and over again, you're going to be able to get more card draw from Sandstone Oracle than you would otherwise. Bedlam Reveler is a discard outlet as well as card draw. Taking a look at some of the other creatures, we have our discard outlets. We have Jaya Ballard Task Mage, who's going to be able to answer any problematic blue permanent creature, and it's a board wipe on a stick. We have Mad Prophet, who's going to allow us to discard our cards and draw cards because we want them fatties in the yard. Next is a key creature, Magus of the Wheel. Because we can reanimate him using Feldon's ability, we're going to be able to wheel more and more and more than anybody with just a Wheel of Fortune. Let's take a look at some of the finishers. We have Hellkite Tyrant, a 6-mana 6/5 flying trample dragon. When he deals combat damage to a player, you're going to steal all of their permanents. Perfect combo piece going with Mycos and Thladis, because if he deals damage, you're stealing their whole entire board. Scuttling Doom Engine, 6-mana 6/6. When it dies, deal 6 damage to target player. 6 damage plus a 6/6 coming at you, it's a real quick clock. Bosch Iron Golem. You're going to take all of the tokens that you're creating with Feldon, sacrifice them using their CMC to punch people in the face. Wormcoil Engine, a value card. When you're reanimating him with Feldon, they go back to the graveyard, you're going to keep getting more worms out on the battlefield. It is a finisher. Perforos is here because you're going to create so many tokens, you're going to keep pinging 2 damage. You guys have seen Jeff's deck. You know what Perforos does. The oddballs and the weirdos. We have Anger. Anger's here really to give Feldon haste and get that engine cooking. Grim Poppet is more of a meta choice. We had a Skullbriar player, so I played Grim Poppet. Putting 1/1/1 counter on Skullbriar. Skullbriar's not coming back for a long time. Ingot Chewer is my answer to problematic artifacts. Being able to recur that with Feldon is going to get you that value. If you have Mycos and Thladis out, you're going to be able to destroy anything. And then we have the second general of the deck, Goblin Welder. He is the key piece to making it hum better when Feldon is out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Feldon of the Third Path. In summary, reanimate. Value, reanimate, reanimate, reanimate. For Feldon, it's all about that value. Thank you so much for watching another Deck Tech from MTG Lexicon. I'm one of your hosts, Nick S., and we'll see you next time.